Let's start, yeah. Namaste. I warmly welcome you all here today. Before embarking our journey to explore the agenda for today's webinar, I would like to congratulate each and everyone present here and watching us live through different media platforms for making this mammoth task of acquiring a property purely with community support in such difficult times possible. So heartiest congratulations to everyone. Sanatan Dharma ki Jai Ho. Because of you, we can see a Hindu temple and community center getting shape. So for those, all the volunteers, while others work their way towards being different, you strive towards making difference. Your passion and energy are unparalleled, and I respect your spirit of volunteerism immensely. We are so very grateful to have your help. Thank you for being so selfless with us and for so many in whose lives you make a tangible difference. If gratitude is worth millions, then you are a billionaire. Thank you for the priceless work you do as a volunteer. Live committee members are thanking all the Hindu community involved in this project and seek all your blessings and support to effectively run this temple as expected with sincerity, transparency, and pure seva bhav. The temple is the focus for all aspects of everyday life in the Hindu community. Religion, religious, cultural, educational, and social. Hindus believe that their lives are merely stages in the progression to ultimate enlightenment. The temple is a place where God may be approached and where divine knowledge can be discovered. With the help of right guidance from the gurus, we can preserve the Vedic knowledge and pass it on to our future generations. And having a place to offer this knowledge is what we all need as a Hindu community. This is one of the many aims that LIVE, London Institute of Vedic Education, has to educate and propagate Vedic knowledge to children and community at large with excellence. So having said this, I would like to open this webinar with a beautiful recorded video made by young kids, devotees reciting Sanskrit shlokas. Just spare a moment.
Kanchan, we can't actually hear anything.
Is it okay now?
No, can't hear anything.
Oh. Okay, I think what we can do, Prabhu, I just need to figure out. I can hear it, I can see the video, but I need to link it probably. I'll take my time, little time, and we can then go on to the next topic on our agenda, if that is okay with everybody, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, so I'm just trying to find Rajiv. Where are you, Rajiv?
So this, yeah, so the second one on our agenda is the financial reports regarding the purchase.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to put this slideshow on. So, word of thanks, which Kanchan is very nicely done. Thank you so much. And I'd like to echo that vote of gratitude to extend that to everybody who has assisted us generously and also with your enthusiasm and kindness. It's really been possible to do this at a time when it is very difficult. To see if it's on. So just a quick financial report. We paid 209,000, just over 209,000 pounds, and how that's been made up. That's from the trustees and the committee members and their friends. About 68% of the monies have come from there, 134,000. Our community, very supportive Hindu community, roughly 40,000 pounds has come from there. And we've also got some gift aid from the tax back that's come from the donations of about 11%. And we were short by 20,000 pounds, and kindly one person has generously given us a interest-free loan, which covers the deficit. So that's been the reason why we've been able to purchase this this wonderful opportunity. Okay. I wanted to just quickly mention, I wanted to apologize in case I've made a mistake in any of the names or excluded anybody's name, but it's important for us to show our gratitude to the people who have donated to us. And it's always risky to put names down, but we're going to do this anyway. So this is a good first exercise for us because we're going to put plaques up in the Mandir so that we recognize the generosity of the donors, of the pioneers. But I do in advance apologize in case any names were not supposed to be here, because I know many people did say they wanted to be anonymous, and I've tried to respect that. If I have made a mistake, and I do beg your forgiveness, and please do let me know. And if anybody is not on this list and who should be on this list, please again do let me know. It's something that it's an oversight on my part. So just very quickly, in terms of the brass plates, we have Dr. Pratibha Ajay Mehta, the Thakur family, Kalachai Van Nitai Yana Nathan, Suresh Supriya Pinakin Kamat, Sunil Patel, Bhagirat Thakur, Rajiv Kajal and Yashvardhan Dama, Agarwal family, Gyancham Master, Dhirubai Pankhania, M.S. Surya, the Achurang Gram family, Virendra Man. Now, these are not the names that are necessarily going to go on the brass plates. This is because I haven't confirmed exactly what people want on the brass plates. But this is just an idea of who has very generously contributed and helped us achieve this momentous task, actually. So in addition, the Maha pioneers who've given 1,000 plus, Mahesh Trivedi, Anandat Koti, Praveen Pankhania, Ashwin Soni. Ashwin Bhai is one of very important trustees, and he's on this call. And I'd like to thank Ashwin Bhai personally. His support has been really fantastic. Saroj Gujral, Arvind and Aruna Ben Jani, Jayesh Patel, Dr. Singhal, Venu Arora, Praveen and Mukesh Patni, the late Dr. Ashwini Singh, Bromley Temple Trust, Ravi and Malini Murali Krishan, what an amazing name, Gopala Rathina Varadharajan, Anil and Ashwini Nene, Moksha Restaurant, Aman Narang, Heta Patel, the Hanuman Chalisa group, specially organized by Bharati Sethai, and she's going to be singing later on, Bhajan. Really amazing support. Shri Aurobindo. And then the pioneers, 500 plus, Dr. Saroj Opesh, Aklesh Dharmista and Dharmista Patel, Nitin Rane, Premanandi Bishan Dindal, Kaushalya Devi, Venkat Vadiraju, Shiv Kumar Natarajan, Dr. Subhash Chitkara, Vaid Bharat, Bipin Chauhan, Shailesh Patel, Hitesh and Kanchan Sharma, fantastic support. Narendra Kamani, Girish Joshi, Shuda Agarwal, Nishit Shah, Ankit and Shivani Vyas, Arya and Shubham Admane, and their father is Narendra, Ajay Chaudhary, Niranjan and Artibin Chukla, Prashana Gundi, Amol Gokhale, Rahul and Meghna Dubey, the Croydon Marathi Group Circle, Dr. Jyotika Rathod, very good, Prashana Gundi, oh, I've got her twice, got them twice, Satish Kamat, Usha Bagri, Sunil Suri, and Amol Gokhale. So that was very, very good. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. And Naveen and Sadhna, they're actually going to be in the brass plates. So I haven't put them yet, but I will do. So apologies. And Nitin Mehta also, he has contributed 500 pounds. So thank you for letting me know about that. Yes, thank you. Anybody else? If I've missed out, please do just do a quick chat so that we become aware. And apologies if I have missed anybody out. Thank you so much. And I'd like to thank Sadhana especially because her enthusiasm is really very, very infectious. So thank you so much. So I'm going to stop the share, and I think we're going to Harish Bhai for the longer term vision for Sanatan Dharma.
Jai Shri Krishna, namaste everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Brilliant, brilliant. So I would like to open up again by saying how truly it's been a humbling experience to see the combination of the local and the wider support that the Coulsdon project has received, especially during this current climate where people are losing their jobs, loved ones, and the general uncertainty surrounding all of us. In such a short time, the Hindu community made a commitment to our dharma for now and the future generations. We wanted to start this journey with a clear pathway and established criteria, not just for Croydon, but to be used freely and made available to form a strong network for our dharma. From reflecting on experience, we articulated the key lessons taught by the past and formulated a table to provide us with a journey roadmap. The question we asked before creating this roadmap and also check in, what is it that we're looking for? The question we asked is, how do we create maximum everlasting value for our dharma? And what would amazing look like? And from there, we articulated, getting all the data together, speaking to so many members of the community, etc. And also trying to fix our own puzzle at Coulsdon of saying, what is it that we looking to build here? Because it got highly complicated because we're trying to do so much in this short time and limited space. The way we came up with this model is to divide the offering into three particular sections, what we call satellite premises, a hub, and a flagship. The key thing to remember here is that we want to keep Sanatan Dharma at the core of everything which we do. The next table here will explain, I'll talk you through what I mean distinctively between all of these three formats, satellite, hub, and a flagship. So satellite being basically a community center with daily darshan facility, hub being a repurposed building, probably in the outskirts of town center. And that repurposed building will provide its own benefits, etc. And flagship being a mandir with a haveli built in the same grounds. So if I talk you through the location and the size of each of these formats, the first one is the satellite being local and convenient, no more than 100 square meters in size. The hub being in the outskirts of the town with 500 square meters in size, and the flagship being in 3 to 5 acres of land, roughly 2,500 square meters with the Haveli facilities. And what the distinctive difference again in worship and pujari requirements is that on the first one, the satellite element is we will have a slight adaptation for our mandir element, whereby we won't have a pujari, a full-time pujari there, but we will have daily pujas carried out by devotees meeting all guidelines, and prior there'll be sort of a training process for some do's and don'ts, etc. So making sure that we are not creating any offense by mistake. What we'll have is bas relief murtis. We will have beautifully framed, consistently framed, beautifully framed and consistent pictures. And we will also have digital frames, picture frames, which will allow us to have a rotation of more deities, gurujis, and other elements of our Sanatan Dharma deities, etc., that which we need to make sure we have a wider coverage. Then in terms of the hub, where we will have proper murtis, which will have with proper pran pratishta and service with full service made in offering by 2 to 3 pujaris, and very similar in the flagship, but we'll have multiple pujaris because our aspirations is to cover more of the Sanatan Dharma in the more wider spectrum. In terms of education, it seems to be the core of the whole organization so far. And the idea is that we possibly in our Coulsdon Center have a addition of one language, definitely cover culture and arts and music and drama. But again, this is going to be limited due to the resources of the premises, etc. But there are talks already saying, can we have sister premises, use existing facilities, partner with schools, etc., to hit the road running as such. In terms of the hub, where we can create a more stronger Vedic education at the forefront, introduce more languages, i.e. Hindi and Sanskrit classes, dedicated space for culture, arts, music, and drama. Very same with flagship, but more advanced facilities, and even potentially offering Saturday or Sunday schools. In terms of festivals, this is where it gets very, very challenging and interesting. In the satellite model, we will have to be very careful in how we plan our festivals there, and very considerate of the neighbors. In the hub side, we will have more relaxed restrictions. due to the site benefits, will definitely require logistical planning, but there'll be more flexibility. In terms of the flagship, we will have full on-site parking, and again, less restrictions due to the grounds, etc., that will be available to us. Yoga and sports has been another big sort of topic in terms of coverage. Again, this is with the shared facilities in the satellite hub. In terms of the main hub, we will have purpose-built hall, which is again multi-purposed in terms of equipped for other type of functions, etc., as well as doing the drama, arts, sports, etc. In terms of the flagship, the idea is we don't have multi-purpose, but we have dedicated areas to cover this. Transportation is again another challenge, and what we want to do is encourage at the satellite centers like the Coulsdon one, we're taking that as an example, but as we move on further with expansion or adding the network, is that what we want to do is encourage car sharing and park and walk. So in Coulsdon, most of you may be aware that we have a really nice huge car park just behind W.H. Smith. So again, being very considerate to neighbors and the surrounding areas, and making sure we don't sort of overtake the parking spaces and cause inconvenience to everybody. But these are the restrictions, and these three formats will deliver a different purpose at each stage. I'll give you some examples in a second. In the main hub, the idea is we have more free local parking, and we have a drop-off and a pick-off point on the facilities. In the flagship, on-site parking will take care of lots of issues. Bhajans, Prashadam and facilities in the satellite hub, the idea is that we do not have cooking facilities, but we do have food warming and preparation that way. Facilities in the hub and the flagship, we will have facilities which will be two kitchens, one for Bhagwan's, the deities, and one for other purposes, for functions and wider Prashadam. So we don't have any, I don't know if the word is right, but cross-contamination between the kitchens. So these are the three sort of models that we sort of articulated together in terms to really sort of distinguish the journey of how we can move forward and not try to do one size fit all. And the best way to explain this, I would say, to have a look at our supermarket models, how Tesco's operate. For example, you have the Tesco Metro stores in the town, and you have Express, and you have superstores, and each one will offer a different type of they all will deliver food, but they will have in different sort of packaging, different sizing, and parking facilities, no parking facilities, and the convenience factors as well. So that's the sort of the best way of describing this model in terms of satellite hub and the flagship. In terms of what we want to make sure that we have sustainability. Now I'll take you to the next slide, which will cover that area. Here we go. So this is to give you an example, and these are just like example of a potential how this hub model could work. So we have just plotted in some names here, which are local and nearby, and not necessarily they'll be the satellites. Potentially, one of them, if I just take a random example, is that Bromley could be the hub, and somewhere else could be the satellite. But just to give you an idea how we could perhaps create a network by working together, is that we have i.e. Coulsdon, Bromley, Sutton, Thornton Heath as our satellite. We find the area slightly out of town where we've got the hub and the Mandir plus the center, and a little further apart where land and the sizing, etc., is available, we create a flagship environment, which is the Mandir and the Haveli. So hopefully this will give you sort of an idea of the bigger vision that which we have here. The next slide. is now it's all very well saying, like, these, we would like this, and, bigger premises, so on and so forth. But it's quite important to try and establish early on is that how potentially we can achieve this. And this, everything that's at heart here is saying it's for now and for the future generations. Future generation, the young, the youth, it's quite important we create some clarity for them as we move forward in our journey. So the core again is Sanatan Dharma. The idea is we will refine the model as we go along, create a blueprint, and thereafter grow. So again, learn how to walk before running. We want to make sure that it's a self-sustainable operation or operations. What I mean by that, we definitely want to have the environment whereby the resources are free for the community, but we will need to look at how we can potentially create an enterprise segment or a sector to our organization where we can, raise funds, so it's self-sustainable. So to give you an example, right now, most of us are working on what we call an in and out model. So, the funds come in, they get utilized, and then we wait for more funds to be generated. Yes, this is our first, step in the Coulsdon Center, but the idea is as we move forward is we look at how we can make everything sustainable and create enterprise element to the whole organization. We want to also emphasize on the technology side, how we can use technology for our organization. And we have lots and lots of smart people in our community. And I'm pretty sure together we can work out how we can use technology efficiently. One of the things I always sort of joke about is AI plus AI. So it's, not forgetting the ancient intelligence, but we also want to use the artificial intelligence to remove any replication of work, etc. And also removing and make sure it's wider distributed around the community. We will have a mindset of a startup. So, agility needs to be used. We're trying our best to not to make any errors in omission as we go along, but naturally there will be errors. We want to minimize on those, but we want to have a startup mindset here. If I can take you to the next slide, is the unity bit. So together we want to build an alliance with sustainable and manageable resources, freely available for promotion of our culture, education, dharma principles. Minimize differences and remove all politics. Unite. United, we will deliver the needs of our community and give clarity to the next generation on how to further this legacy. Because right now, there are confusion, there are little differences, etc. And that's been there for a long time in our communities. The idea is we want to try and remove some of these barriers, remove any politics which are out there. And I think the younger generation will sort of come in, with open arms here and contribute. And earlier today I saw a post by Ashwin Bhai actually, and I think there's a survey going around right now, which is so wonderful to see, like the surveys about what does the next generation want, what are they looking for, and how they see our mandir as an institution working. And hearing them and bringing them on board right now, it is the ideal way forward. So our objective of unity has basically inspired a new level of commitment, effort, and performance by uncovering so many hidden strengths. Uncovering these strengths has allowed new opportunities being revealed. We have big ambitions. However, we are very mindful that the ambition should not come in our way of the present day opportunity. Our current commitment goal for Coulsdon Centre is to be in operation this summer, expanding further on the same site in 4 to 5 years' time, which the future concept planning has already begun. Our aspirational goal, it's let's go on this journey together as Hindus and build a network of facilities operated and managed by the respective local communities with plenty of centrally shared support and resources, like what we have seen at the Coulsdon environment. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I mean, we're seeing support from up and down the country where, nobody's benefiting directly themselves, but they see the benefit to our Sanatan Dharma, to our culture. Our learning goal here is to carry an attitude of trying, learning, improving, and growing together. We may discover some things that don't work, some things do work or kind of work. It has to be, me saying all of this, but one key thing here is to be recognized. Right now, there are groups and individuals doing some remarkable work already in our community up and down the country. However, we see a gap and pockets of communities have no or very little resources available to them. The question we ask is, how can we establish a platform to prepare the young to live better lives with the implementation of timeless teachings of our rich Vedic culture, Dharma principles in today's changing environment? How can we support the older generation and the vulnerable in our community? There is a gap. So there is a gap, and the idea is we need to close the gap by working united as Hindus with all branches of Sanatan Dharma coming together. What we have here on the proposal is co-facilities. So we are welcoming every branch of Sanatan Dharma at the Coulsdon Center, according to diary availability, is come and book the facilities, have your shabas, have your bhajans, the kirtans, etc. Use it openly, and there should be no cost, no charges involved here whatsoever. One key thing which is at heart, because during the research, it was pretty evident. And again, this is not pointing any fingers to anybody, but we will need to address better welfare and support for our pujaris. Our pujaris should not feel that they're under pressure, under thumb from the committee members. They should be part and parcel of the whole organization. And we should also have a post clarity for the pujaris. If they're going to, if they're coming from, in some examples, India, etc., then what is their plan, short-term, long-term, medium-term, etc., and how we can support them rather than feel them suffocated in one area of saying this or nothing, or you go back, or whatever. And I'm not saying this is everywhere. Some places have real examples, real good, nice models, but the few I have spoken to, they have raised this concern. And I think what we should do is we should not let history repeat itself in this environment. So 100% seva from all devotees, except for the pujaris, who are going to be full-time here working in the mandir, providing service. We make sure they are remunerated accordingly. Again, free of charge, all usage of the facilities for promotion of education, Sanatan Dharma based religious worship. Standardized support system and best practices made available. All funds that come in, they should be used 100% end-to-end for the same purpose. And the idea of the building facilities, etc., is to create a charter. The charter will be very clear that these premises and the profits, if derived from any premises which belong to the Sanatan Dharma Mandir company, they will all be reused for the same purpose, nothing but the same purpose. No personal benefit for anybody here, apart from what we take the daily benefit, but not financial otherwise. So with this said, I'll hand it back over. And I also like to sort of apologize for any errors, omission, or any assumptions that's been made here. The idea is not to create offense to anybody, but to unite all of us. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Harish bhai. So I think, is Narendra going to play the...
Yeah, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna. Yeah, I will play the video.
So if you can do that now, please.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Can you?
सदा विमुक्ति साधकं कलाधरा वतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकनायकम् विलासिते वदैत्यकम् तथा शुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकं नमामि तं विनायकं नमामि तं विनायकम् वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुभंकरोतिगलन आरोग्यमसंपदा सप्तबुद्धिकनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्मूर्तिः श्यामले मीनाक्षि सुन्दरेश्वर साक्षि शंकरी गुरु गुहासमुत्पवे शिवे पामर मोचने पंकजलोचने पद्मासनवाणी हरिलक्ष्मी विनुते शांभवी श्यामले मीनाक्षी नमस्ते अनंत मादिश्लोका मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं मां वानरयुक्तमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये शनिश्लोकः नीलाञ्जनसमाभासं रविपुत्रमिवागतं छायामार्तण्डसम्भूतं तं नमामि शनीश्वरम् वामो वामशनि सदा विजयते वामममेशं विजय आमेन पिहितो निशाचरचमो वामाय तस्मै नमः वामनास्ति परायणं भवतवान् वामश्रद्धस्तु सहं वामिचित्तलया सदा भवतु मे भो वाममादुद्धवा ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् Korvarakamiva bandana mutyo mokshiyamamritam. Saraswati, Maharajini,
Thank you. I will end.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do apologize for the earlier technical glitch.
No problem.
So this video was just to show, with the right guidance and with the right gurus, basically, with the help of right gurus, we can preserve the Vedic knowledge and pass it on to our future generations. And having a place to offer this knowledge is what we all need basically at this time. And this video, the popularity, distinction, and continuity of Hinduism raised upon many pillars. And amongst these is Vedic scriptures, spirituality, and importance of temple, which we just seen. This kid's been amazing, and I've literally given them, couple of days probably, and they've been wonderful. So yes, that's why we all need a place of worship and temple. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Now, thank you for your effort, Kanchan, and the children as well. Really inspiring. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This,
So,
the whole purpose actually of setting up this London Institute of Vedic Education is to encourage the children, to educate the children, and at the same time, the parents get educated as well. So, renovation plan. Harish Bhai, please, wherever I sort of miss anything, you please come in and correct me. And he is such an amazing person. If you look at this schedule, he does it in such detail. These are all the windows that we need. Originally, there was only 6 windows to worry about, but then he and the window person went in and they found so many different areas of where we needed to do work. So the level of detail that he has gone through is phenomenal, but we're going to see a very small part of that now. Just an idea as to what we're going to do. The original plan was we wouldn't be doing too much refurb work. We were planning for about £25,000, really do the flooring, a lick of paint, and maybe move the toilets, things like that. But the plan now is that we're going to be here a little bit longer, about 4 to 5 years. So we might as well make this place to a very good standard of renovation, so that it's a model of excellence. And this is a message for the future, that this is what we're going to be doing wherever we're going. So that, of course, requires a little bit more expense and planning as well, which is where Harish Bhai is really putting his amazing expertise. So the plan is, this is the staircase. We're coming into the front of the building. The road is just here. We're going to have 2 toilets. One is disabled toilet and one is normal. And we're going to have shower facilities as well, and place for shoes to be kept. And then we come into the hall. It's not a huge place, but it's good enough for about 50 to 60 people. And here we try to work out a situation where we could have the temple in the corner here, but it's just facing south, which is not recommended. So we are instead going to be facing the deities on the north, towards the north, the murtis, Bas murtis, relief murtis. And we're going to also have disabled access. At the moment, there is no disabled access, but for us, it was a key part of this project to have this ability to give our elder members of our community the opportunity to be able to come in without any difficulties. So that will happen. And there's a kitchen facility here. So in terms of various costs, which have already been sponsored, the fire alarms, the new windows, all of that schedule I showed you, Harish Bhai has got somebody to donate all of that and to install it as well. And that's a huge chunk. Kitchen, Aruna Ben has introduced us to a wonderful builder called Virendra Bhai, and he is going to donate the kitchen for us. In terms of security, there's another wonderful person called Santosh, who's going to sort out the security as well as the fire alarms. And Harish Bhai again has got services from a Nigerian person free of charge at this moment in time, in terms of various surveys that he's doing for us. In terms of the costs, the disabled access is going to cost 6,900. We've got audio visual. We will have this place. We will have good facilities in this place. We will need cooling and fresh air. This is part of the new requirements by the government. Harish Bhai, anytime you want to chip in, please do so. My knowledge isn't so great in these areas. Plumbing. We also decided that we would put in underfloor heating. And the reason for that is this place will be cold in the winters, and if we're going to be there for 3 to 4 or 5 years, we do need to make everybody comfortable. And that will also reduce, it'll help us in other ways as well. We need to sort out the electrics, soundproofing. We do need to be very conscious that we cannot try to minimize the disturbance that we will cause to our neighbors. And we will try to embark on a marketing campaign or a PR campaign to get our neighbors on our side, at least to understand what we're doing and why we're doing these things that we're doing. Site clearance, the building works, we're going to soundproof, which means we need to have a false roof and a ceiling. And Harish was telling me that how much work that is going into just getting that whole thing right, because the structure of the building isn't necessarily particularly strong. So if we're putting a little bit more weight, we need to improve the infrastructure of the building. There's a fantastic garden at the back where we've got huge potential there to do various things and various professional services which we will need assistance to just get some of these things done. So the total of that renovation, the basic minimum, we're looking at about £87,000. These are all estimates, and at some point these estimates they will become finalized, but knowing Harish Bhai, these estimates are very good estimates, and also we will hopefully get support from the building community to help us minimize our cost. And of course, we're looking for support to collect this from the community as well. Up to now, perhaps some people may be a little bit reluctant to give because we're a new organization, London Institute of Vedic Education, and also we hadn't bought the property. So how was there any guarantee we will buy the property? But now that we have the property, so we've got a little bit more assurance for people that you know, we're going to do what we're going to do what we're going to say. So why is it 4 to 5 years? I just had a quick question. Very quickly, it'll take at least 2 years for the planning. We want to plan for maximum capacity, as much as we can put here, 2 to 3 story building. That will take a good 2-3 years because of 2 years plus because of the restrictions of parking. So we need to overcome some local challenges and to show the council, demonstrate to them that having a community center, education center here is not going to be a detrimental effect on the locality. So it's and that will, this site we will never lose, as far as I understand, because sites of Vedic Dharma, Sanatan Dharma, are very rare. So if we have something, we want to hold on to it and build on it and make it excellent. So it'll take 2-3 years, and then it'll take another year or so to collect the funding so that we can build. We need to have at least 80% of the monies upfront so that we can build. So that's one of the reasons it'll take about 4 or 5 years before we get there. So then the second part of this refurbishment or renovation is we want to put a shivling outside and have a Lord Shiva's abode. In the garden, there is enough facility. There's a lot of work to be done there. So we're looking to get sponsorship for this. Tulsi greenhouse, we should be able to put one in. We also want to put a log cabin, a classroom. There's such a fantastic facility to do that. And this will enhance the learning for our children. So another roughly 22,000. So that's about 110,000 in total that we are looking to collect in order to complete this renovation so that we are okay for the next 4 or 5 years. And then I will talk about getting the mandir ready for worship itself. That's another expenditure that we do need to look at to try to get covered so that we are in a place where we can open the temple on the 30th of August, Shri Krishna Janmashtami. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next section. Vikram, are you there? Vikram, is that something that you would like to talk through at all? Okay, just to give an idea of the timelines, on the 8th of February, we were very kindly approached by Harish Bhai for this incredible opportunity. And the family gave up a huge personal profit in order to enable us, actually making my co-host, in order to come to this place of having this Vedic Dharma opportunity available to us. And in 6 weeks time, literally, we managed to collect the funds more or less to buy. And now in less than 2 weeks time, we want the renovation work to start. It's quite an intense period of work that Harish is actually going through at the moment to get us ready to that stage. And we're hoping that by the end of July, renovation work will be complete. And we have then the whole of August to get ourselves ready, get the temple ready, so that we can open on the 30th of August, which is Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Now, I'm aware that we may not have allowed Vikram to unmute, but anyway, apologies, Vikram, for that. We're going to try to make you the co-host. I know, okay, calm down. So actually, let me just make him the co-host so that he has the ability to. Can we see you, Vikram? Ah, good. Okay. Okay, Vikram.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Sorry about that. Huh?
No problem.
Anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think the location of the mandir is excellent because there's a lot of parking available as well, because there has been concern from our from devotees regarding the parking. And what I wanted to just mention is there is parking available, although it is on-street parking, although it is, and last time we had shared a map of where the parking, where the devotees can park. Although it is a paid parking, but there are some other places around the mandir where our devotees can park for free for up to 1 hour. And then, so we can share that map later on very soon.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, Vikram. It's so good because Vikram lives just around the corner and he's very, very enthusiastic about this temple. And it's such a fantastic feeling to have with someone like him around. Setting up the Mandir Committee, we're in the process of appointing a Mandir Committee from the devotees living in the local area and those who will be doing practical service on a weekly basis. And please do contact me if you'd like to get involved in this committee. It's a great opportunity. We want fired up individuals coming in and encouraging us and making suggestions and assisting with whatever needs to be done. So the idea of the Mandir Committee is to get the Mandir open and to be responsible for the day-to-day running of the Mandir. And we are planning to hold the first committee meeting next Monday, so 1 week's time, 12th of April at 7 p.m. And that is, of course, also the start of the Hindu New Year, so it's an auspicious time. So please do join us. Please do let me know. If you don't have my contact details, please put a message on the chat and I will forward the contact details to you. Otherwise, I'll be putting a message on the Sanatan Mandir group so that we can get this going. And we want this committee to be very effective, very powerful, not just opinions that, you could do it this way, but actually action taking place as well. What is the worship plan? So I'm just going to carry on until somebody stops me. Okay. This is the, now what question was put that, is it advisable to have the mandir, the altar near the toilet? It's not quite near the toilet. Unfortunately, it's a small facility that is available to us. We've looked at different options, try to keep the toilet outside, but it doesn't quite work out. And we're going to have to live with what we have for the time being. So the idea is roughly to have a mandir like this. This is one thing which, again, Harish is looking at is looking at the innovation to see if we can get something like this done through modern technology, not maybe quite like this, but something like this. But if anyway, we want to aim for something like this. And we talked about the bas relief. This is the bas relief. Murtis at the moment is beyond our reach because we're just starting up, but we have something as good, but doesn't require the same level of worship. These are effectively pictures, but they're 3D pictures. Bas relief is one of our trustees, Kanu Priya, is on the call. And she is a sculptor, she's an artist, and she's very, very kindly agreed to do these bas relief images for us. And I'm so grateful to her because she's naturally a devotee anyway, and it will just enhance what we will be able to witness as we come through the temple. So the images that we're going to have, the first one will be Ganesh and Kartikeya because of the auspiciousness of Ganpati in any temple. So, and we want to include his brother as well, because there is a large community of devotees from the south of Bharat who have particular affliction to Murugan, Kartikeya. So we don't want to, as Harish Bhai very kindly, nicely said, we want to unite the whole community, not unite them and compromise the Vedic principles, no, but unite them so that we can continue on our journey of this glorious Sanatan Dharma. Second one will be Radha Krishna, and we'll hopefully also have Go Mata there. And Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namaste. Krishna is the friend of the distress, is the source of creation, is the master of the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. So, and then we will have Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman as well. And this beautiful verse from the Vishnu Sahasranam, where Lord Shiva is telling Parvati that just chant the name of Ram 3 times, and it's equivalent to chanting the whole Vishnu Sahasranam. So this is really with great pride, I say that we will be having these wonderful bas relief murtis to bless us so that we can continue with our work. And then we will also include Lord Shiva and Shakti, and they are very important personalities. Lord Shiva is considered to be Vaishnav Nam Yatha Sambhu. It's the greatest devotee of Vishnu. And I know there's different philosophies, but we will look at what is given in the Vedic scriptures and go with that. So Lord Shiva is very, very kind. He's very merciful, and we'll be looking for his kindness, as is Shaktima. Shaktima is the gatehouse keeper of this prison house that we live in, and we will be seeking her blessings to get out of this samsara and go back to the spiritual world. And the process in this age of Kali has been given by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So we will include bas relief of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it explains, in this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregation chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. He came disguised as a devotee, but he is described in many Vedic scriptures like the Garud Purana. The Vishnu Sahasranam also describes him. Although his complexion is not blackish, he's Krishna himself. He's accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So those are the 5 bas reliefs. Now they are going to cost, of course. These are not cheap to produce, but they are absolutely amazing. They will be absolutely amazing. So the cost of them are approximately £2,500 each. Ganpati and Kartikeya will be a little bit less because the size is a little smaller, and they'll have their own small altar. The altars, each one will have a separate altar. It'll be quite a thin altar, but it'll be long and also wide so that it accommodates these beautiful images. So we'll have 5 of those, 4 big altars and 1 small altar for Ganesh and Kartikeya. And their cost is about 2,500. So if anybody would like to sponsor Radha Krishna and their altar, then the cost is about £5,000. And what we will do is, if anybody does sponsor, then we will honor them as we have been doing those who have contributed towards the purchase of the property itself. And then we will have beautiful aarti trays and bhog plates, and we'll go into reasons for that in a minute. Together with cushions for people to sit on the floor, tables for our elderly, chairs for our elderly community. Unfortunately, I include myself in that community now. Tables for, again, them to have prasad. And we'll also have a worship table where devotees are welcome to bring their own worshipful deity or Guruji, so that they can place on this table in a very honorable way. So the cost of that is 27,000. Then we will have 6 different pictures of Dasavatar, of Durga, Navagraha, Trimurti, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, Saraswati, goddess of learning. And we saw these fantastic children. So we will really be seeking her blessing, Gayatri and Lakshmi and Viratru. These will be done in beautiful oil paintings. There'll be original paintings, very, very beautifully done. And we think the cost will be roughly £1,000 each. So again, if any devotees would like to sponsor, this will be a wonderful thing to sponsor. What is the worship plan? We want to open the temple every single day, 3 times a day, from the 1st of September. So the 30th of August, we will all be there for Sri Krishna Janmashtami, of course, subject to the rules of the pandemic. And then we will, from 1st of September onwards, there will be 3 services: morning, afternoon, evening, 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, 11:30 to 12:30 afternoon, and then evening 6:30 to 7:30. The idea is this temple is going to be run by the community because it belongs to the community. It doesn't belong to any individual person. It belongs to the whole community. And we want to invite the whole community to participate and come and worship on a daily basis. What will we do there for 1 hour? Open the temple. Literally, we'll be opening the temple. It's our temple to open. Isn't that amazing? We can offer fruit. So this will be, we've been trained as priests for the last 30 years. So we will conduct this training in August, how to offer fruit, how to offer bhoga, how to do the aarti. Now, I was saying to a wonderful lady called Supriya, I don't know if she's on the call today, that we don't mind if you do aarti in your own style. But she said, no, we want to do it correctly. I loved her mood. So we will train. But we will also have a lot of flexibility so that people's individual bhav can also come out. But certainly we will train. At the same time, there hopefully will be guests coming because these are standard times. We will advertise the temple is open 3 times a day minimum. And please come and have darshan. So hopefully there will be guests. We can do bhajan, may even be time for a little pravachan because this is education center after all. And we want to educate. We want to educate ourselves. We want to educate others as well. And by reading the scriptures is one of the ways we do it. And then close the temple. So this should make everybody feel this is my temple. And I will look after this temple. I will worship here. I will improve my own standards so that I come closer to the Lord. So in August 2021, in about 4 months' time, we're planning to run the training workshops that will include an induction to the Mandir's facilities, the fire door, fire regulations, alarm systems, and everything else, security. And also it will include the level of worship, the service. Now, we've started a schedule of this weekly schedule 3 times a day. We would like different devotees to come, not just one devotee. For example, here Sunday afternoon, we have Rajiv and family, and we have another Rajiv and family, and Swami and Aarti. 3 families are coming. I would love it if it's possible. Every day, every Aarti, at least 3 families are there. That way, we have cover for each other, just in case somebody can't come because of illness or work reasons. But in this way, we will also feel together. So I'm hoping I will share this on the group, the Sanatan Mandir group. And I would love devotees, local devotees, to take on a weekly schedule, a weekly service, anytime, any day they like. And even if there's 3, 4, 5 people at the same time, it's wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I think that's enough from me. So,
Nabiji, I think there is a question on the chat. I think we can answer that now at this stage because it's quite related to this.
okay.
Where people were asking, I think you addressed it partly. Supriya ji had advised, she was saying that it's not advisable to have murtis next to the toilets. But I think let's address that now at this stage, because I think we are not going to have the murtis and there is a reason behind it. Naviji, if you want to just explain that, please.
Yes, actually, Harish.
Can I assist on this one?
Oh, please. Thank you, Harish.
Thank you.
Jai Sri Krishna, and I think this is a very, very good question. And whilst we were, while Nabi Bhai was presenting all the information, I saw the question come up, and already we have looked at a few things here. So the first point is that the toilets are outside of the hall. There's a division wall, and they're in the hallway. But point taken that, look, they're on the same side. And what we have done, we have, during that presentation, when we saw the question come up, we've done some sketches, measurements, and looked at the plumbing line of the building as well. And I'm pleased to say we can flip the toilets to the other side in the hallway. Yeah. Yeah, so we can flip that both areas from the other side. So that can be easily done. I say easily, but I'm sure the builder's not going to agree with me, but it's going to be done. And I also saw another question come up, reference to the CCTV. CCTV has been catered for in the security category, external, rear, front, side, and internal hallway, and the main hall.
And we'll also have a panic button or two.
Yeah. So that, again, the security alarm, again, there will be a panic button installed as well. Hopefully we'll never need to use it. Yes.
In terms of the funding, it's still sizable funding that we need assistance for. There's absolutely no doubt about that. In order to get it into a really good place, so that we feel this is fantastic. I want to be here. So around about £142,000 is what we want to raise. Now we will have a GoFundMe page. We will have to do that in a tasteful way so that we get the support from the community. And hopefully now people will feel a little bit more confident as well that, look, they've actually bought the temple, and let's actually help take the next step. And that next step is to make it into a habitable, beautiful, first class, gold standard temple, so that we feel, I want to come. We feel that when I come, I don't want to leave. And when I leave, I want to come back very quickly. That's the mood we want to create in this temple. So I think now maybe Dharmista, would you like to mention some of the sort of plans that you had to raise funds? Oh, hang on. Can she unmute? Somebody unmute her.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Lovely to see everyone on this call. I'm responsible for marketing, and I just want to talk about the fundraising. So we are planning a family quiz event. We haven't decided on the date yet. Probably be in May. And hopefully everyone can have a chance to get involved and have some fun as well. And also Hanuman Chalisa recital 108 Hanuman Chalisa. We're looking to do that on 27th of April, which is Hanuman Jayanti, and we will be sending details out after the webinar this evening, and that hopefully people can join in. It's the first time we'll be doing Hanuman Chalisa over Zoom, so we just appreciate everyone's sort of patience and this sort of online virtual fundraising. Hopefully, maybe in June and July, we can organize some outdoor events and maybe family fun day and different sort of things where we can reach out to different communities and really ramp up the fundraising. So thanks everyone, and thanks again for everyone's support. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Dharmista. Also, one thing we want to do quite quickly, and we need to think about how to do it, is the neighborhood, how to introduce ourselves in such a way that they feel these are nice people. And so we'll have to work that out. And it's very important to me that we engage with them quickly.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Nabiji, there is a question from Narendra Bhai. He's asking about, is this facility only for Hindus? And is yoga beyond the concept of the religion? Very good question. Very good question.
Fantastic question. No, we're going to have yoga sessions. We're going to have Ayurvedic sessions. We're going to have fitness and training sessions. We've got Hardika, who is with us. And she's a fitness therapist, fitness and health therapist. It's not just for Hindus. Of course, it's a small place. But what we are also thinking around is we want to have coffee mornings for the locals, the elderly, the lonely. So we become a source of comfort, not just for our community, but for the wider community as well. We're not exclusively going to keep this as a Hindu center. Of course, it will be Vedic Dharma that is going to be promoted here. That's absolutely without any question. But we want to promote Vedic Dharma to everybody, because this body is simply an outer covering. The soul within is neither Hindu nor Christian, nor Muslim, nor Jewish. The soul is simply a spiritual spark connected with the supreme spiritual spark. So that is Vedic Dharma. So we will not be confined to simply Hindu community. We want to attract other communities as well. Very good question. Yoga is very much a central part of Vedic Dharma. So we will be having various yoga classes here. Again, it's going to be up to the Hindu community, the Hindu experts on yoga to come forward and say, hey, I want to do a session. And as Harish Bhai very nicely put it, nobody is going to be stopped from using this center. Nobody is going to be stopped. We want to unite the whole Hindu community. Of course, that's a big task because our Hindu community is very diverse, but there should be unity in that diversity. And even if we achieve 80%, my rule is 80-20. If we achieve 80% unity, then we're successful. There's always going to be the 20% who, there will always be the doubting Thomases. What can you do? You have to live with that. But if we can unite 80%, that will be fantastic. And as Harish Bhai, he said, this facility will be available for use, free of charge. That is our desire. That is where we want to be. If we do have a loan existing, because I suspect if we don't collect the full funding, we will need to get some loans. We would want to see a plan to repay those loans. So there may be a certain period of time where we may have to request some funding for use of facilities, but I'm hoping not. I really hope from day one, we can say to the community, this is yours to use.
Thank you, Nabiji. Any other questions? If you can raise a hand on the chat or put your question on the chat, we can address that.
I have one more question, if I'm allowed to.
Please go ahead, Narendra bhai.
Yeah, while Arishji was giving the presentation, I did note down few things, and you did mention about the concept of satellite thing. It's a very novel concept, very novel idea. We are thinking far ahead, which is good thing. However, the question is like, being satellite center or arm of this life, do you have certain rules, regulation? Do we need to follow a kind of a protocol, and or is it just like any Sanatan news center, we wholeheartedly support them, help them, let build their own, and we just give them the support without strings of terms and conditions?
Harish bhai, you want to take this question?
Harish bhai. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you, and a very good question. If you recall, one of the points I made is that we're gonna get some things right, some things not quite right, and some things terribly wrong. And I hope the latter's not present that much. My idea, and again, it's going to be us as a whole community thinking together is how we do it. But my idea is that we want to unite and support the Sanatan Dharma, the Hindu community. I think is long overdue. I think we can become a very good force, a voice, and an operation to support each other. There are so many things that already, like individuals and organizations are doing, and they've been doing for years. And I think we can do with their support. And reciprocation is that we will offer support, vice versa. But I think my idea is we should be unconditional in our offering of support, i.e. if somebody else wants to set up a center and have similar vision as us, then good, very good, because we'll be all united in that front. If they don't have the same vision as us, but they want to go through, they want to tap into the learning curve that we have gone through, the do's and don'ts which we have gone through, I think we should share that openly. There's one principle that I was taught earlier. I don't know if there was a mistake, it went wrong way around in my head or not, but the principle was that knowledge, gyan, etc. is never yours to keep. Whatever you have, you should share it openly. And otherwise, it could be looked at stealing in some element. And I think anything to support the Hindu community out there, we should freely support as much as we can.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Harish bhai, thank you very much. Nabiji, there is a very interesting follow-up question for you from Hardika ji, and she's saying, as the facilities will be free of charge, does that mean that the yoga class participants would be attending for free too?
Okay, before I answer this question, Jayanti just wanted to mention that we're already doing yoga.
Yeah, we already have yoga sessions Sunday mornings from 8:30 to 9:30. Live is already organizing that. It's at the moment it's for mainly elderly people. It's called chair yoga. But again, that can be facilitated at the hall, on the via the internet facilities at the hall. If people want to use the hall to do the yoga, but we already have a yoga teacher already doing this yoga session on a Sunday.
In terms of how say somebody takes on a yoga class, do they charge, or is it supposed to be free? No, they should charge, because their services, Hardika, for example, you offer therapy for fitness and health. You should charge, but we would say that whoever charges should think about contributing towards the temple. They should donate. I'm not saying all of it, but at least a good chunk, so that that facility, we can keep on improving it. And it's not just, it's a free facility, I can use it as I want and charge and make a profit out of the temple. That's not the idea of Vedic Dharma. Vedic Dharma is actually giving. Our mood is giving. So I would say, yes, you should charge the participants who, the students who take part in your courses or your therapies, and then come to an arrangement with the temple so that at least some of that is contributed to the temple for its activities, because this temple is not going to be free to run. We will have monthly charges. Harish, you'd like to contribute?
If I may add to that, and I think one of the slides said, 100% seva, and it also said, there are so many hidden strengths within the community, and this is another way of giving back and doing your seva individually. So if there is something we can bring that, i.e., so it's a combination, and I think to bring a little bit more clarity to that, it's, say for instance, unfortunately I can't teach yoga, but if I was able to, I may consider something like this: charge for the class, but whatever comes in, I would personally say, let's give it back to the mandir to, for the operations, etc. And this is, again, I think we can touch more deeply on this topic a little later when we talk about enterprise and the hidden strengths within the community. I think it's a very, very good question. Clarity needed from the beginning, but my ideal, and by no means, everybody should follow my ideal, but my ideal is that we should use our strengths as seva, and if we can use it as an enterprise to bring the money back into the organization, that'd be fantastic. Namaste.
Yep. And Hardika, I understand your comment as well, and I think I agree that they should not charge for the facilities or for the courses if they are free. But let's take it this way. I think it is just propagating the knowledge for our Hindu community and other communities around us, right? So this is more of propagating the knowledge as much as possible and for free. Now, one request to all and everybody is do not take it as a commercial. Don't run your commercial business on the grounds. This is a very holy ground. This is a holy temple. And then that's it. Just be mindful of that, really. Thank you very much.
I wanted to ask something or say something. Hardika? Oh, we have to unmute you. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, we're not used to this. Go for it. We can't hear you yet.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, the thing is, those points need to be clarified right at the beginning,
Yes.
Because when it comes to charging, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to run yoga class or anything like that, but it's just a general, general rules that we need to have in place, because once people start, running classes, they'll be thinking, well, like who someone just said, it's not for commercial purposes, it's not a business. At the end of the day, we want to provide, and we want to encourage people to provide, it's a community service. So if we're not charging for the facilities, then it can be done on a donation basis, that donation, if it's just simple, if we keep it very simple and saying, look, and that donation basically is for the temple. So we have a box just for the temple, and people can put in whatever they want, and that donation just goes to the temple. So nobody charges. I think that's an important rule, because in time it could lead to complications. If we keep it open and say charge or don't charge, or maybe you can or maybe you can't. The idea is, if people want to use the facilities and offer their services, then it's a community service. We do it with the right mindset of offering something to the community. They do it because they want to give back, to the community, not make profit, out of and take advantage of the services and the facilities that are going to be available, for people, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Thank you. And Hardika, I'm so happy you're on the committee. You're going to be part of the policy making decisions.
No, thank you, Hardika ji.
Yeah.
More people have come forward. Raj, there's also Manish and Monica. more people, please do come forward. If you want to take part in the committee, then we can start with a good, strong base. Please don't feel shy. Do let us know in the chat, in WhatsApp. Any way you can let us know. Sorry, Vikram.
No problem. Kalpana ji, I agree with your ideas and suggestions. Very good suggestions, I must admit. We are having, with regards to the projectors and screens, we will take that on board once we have enough funding as well in future. At the moment, what I can say is we have provision for television and screens in the facility for now. Just moving on quickly.
Want to take us into the I was going to say 20th century, probably the 30th century, very
30th
far.
century. Yes. I think Anusha ji has a question. I think let's unmute Anusha ji if possible.
Where is she? She is, yeah.
I think instead of reading those couple of questions, I think it will be good if you can just express it here.
Namaskar to everyone. And it's so lovely to hear what's happening. So there are few things I wanted to just share. And really good to hear Hardika ji speak and all the people who've spoke about how to use the community space. So, this idea of commercial and non-commercial is very tricky as well. But I think I think clarity is most important, because what I do, I teach Bharatanatyam, I teach dance in the community for the elders and for disabled people. Wow. And what I earn is, my living. I don't think so it's a profit. So how do you make a distinction between that is something that you all have to decide. And the second thing, I
wouldn't stop you. My personal opinion is, if it's your earning, your living, but at the moment you must be paying some rent somewhere, right?
In the pandemic, no, but before that, yes, correct.
So I would say, to you, I know Hardika was saying we need to be very clear, etc. And she's got a very good point. But someone like yourself who are helping the elderly, I would say, look, we want to be in partnership with you to help this community who needs help.
Yes, so, exactly.
Sure.
And if you're charging them, what we say is, why can't you also contribute and think it as a temple, as a community service as well?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, for sure. If I'm paying rent somewhere else, why not here?
Yeah.
And that is that. So my second question, and I think it is important to do that. And my second question in the same vein is, I teach Bharatanatyam, which is the classical arts, and I find teaching within the system of the Mandir is a very wonderful one, because it lends itself for a deeper learning, and that therefore I asked what possibilities exist in doing that. Yeah.
I think we will definitely consider those. We have not actually went through details of, if do we want to open the premises in terms of charging everybody, but we'll get back to you on this, definitely. Sure.
Okay. And when does the center open?
30th of August is Sri Krishna's Janmashtami. So the plan, we are aiming for Lord Krishna's birthday.
Right. Okay. Lovely.
And I was going to say to you, if you live in the locality, I don't know if you were here earlier, or whether you're in the other WhatsApp group, which we talk about in Sanatan Mandir, this Mandir, but we want to open it up for the local community to come and worship, take a turn, take a slot once a week, and actually become part of the temple. Feel this is my temple by actually coming, opening the door, doing some puja, doing some bhajan, inviting people, allowing people to have darshan, and then closing the door behind you.
Oh, that's an interesting thing to do. Wow. Yeah.
Part of this. You will feel this is my temple, and that's what we want to generate, that feeling. This is my temple. I will look after it. I will support. I will do whatever I can do for this temple. So we want to urge that. So
Right.
your contact details, and I will share with you the rota that we've already started. We've already filled up half of it, but I don't mind even if there's 2, 3, 4, 5 people coming for the same slot, because that way you make friendships, strong spiritual friendships.
Sure. It's a very well thought out plan. I can share my contact details. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anushaji. Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Bharati ji, you have some questions. I'll just unmute you. If you can ask, please. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you. Fine.
So what I wanted to ask was that there are a lot of mandirs and places which get grant from government. You know, of old age, they do these coffee mornings, as Navi Prabhu said. They, this chair yoga, Bharatnatyam for elderly. You can get grant. There are a lot. So you probably know about it, but that's worth.
We're not so clued up, but we got to remember we just started literally on the 24th of January. Started this committee, and the Lord somehow this opportunity to have a temple within such a short period of time. So we're just waking up to this dream that's coming true. So we need so much support, so much help. So anything you can suggest and point us in the right. Ashwin Bhai is there. He's already giving us so much support in terms of grounding us down, advising us, and he is such a wonderful man to have on our side. I'd like to thank the Lord for him.
Thank you, Nabiji. Hemu Patel ji, you have a question. I'll just unmute you. Yeah, please go ahead. Ask a question.
Yeah, I'm happy with tell to council because I'm a disabled in a wheelchair, and council will help you for disabled access. For religious place, council will give you grant, or council will come and do it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can save your money, like roughly you say 7,000.
Yeah.
So we have to apply, and you have to tell that a disabled person are coming with the wheelchair. So you should help it out. So they told me for which place you are going. So I will tell them that, okay, I am going to that place every time. So you can approach to the council and tell to council to help you out for a disabled access and a disabled toilet and everything.
Wow.
So they will help you out.
Okay.
Excellent suggestion. Yeah.
Hemu Ben, can we have your contact details?
So, Hemu Ben, yeah.
Yeah. So shall I tell you my phone number?
Not in front.
Kanchan Ben got it, my number.
Oh, Kanchan Ben has
okay,
got
okay, that's
got
fine.
it, my number.
That's fine.
Fantastic.
So you can ask to Kanchan Ben, yeah?
Thank you so much.
And Saroj Ben also got my number.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking up. Really
It's
good.
all right.
Thank you, Hemu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hemu Patel ji. Okay.
Thank you.
Bharati ji, you have another question. I think probably a follow-up question. Let me just unmute you. Yes, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that for disabled people, firstly, there's VAT off. If you do things, you can claim the VAT back. And also, yes, as Hemu Ben said, there are a lot of things council will do. So like there's a Milan Center where they meet, the elderly people meet. They have a grant for chair yoga. Then there's Hindu Center in Tooting, and they have a exercise session which is funded by council. You may be doing something for disabled autistic people, and again there are grants available. So I think that is worth thinking about. You might have one person who's very knowledgeable about that, and they can help you get all the grants and things.
Thank you. Yeah, I think
Thank you, Bob.
he has is going to introduce us to somebody who is a specialist in this field. But Parthiban, that's invaluable information. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I think Rajiv Bhai, I'm having some technical issues with I can't check the chat at the moment.
Okay.
So if anybody can just quickly check.
Is Kanu Priya wants to say something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Kanu, you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment just regarding, other people that have skills that want to sort of donate their time. Like I'm an artist, as you know, as you mentioned, but I donate my time to our mission in West London. And I think, like you were saying, I think you have to be really clear about the fact that it is a community project and we're about giving. And I think, yes, I make my living from my work. But I think you have to have a clear distinction about, your own practice and being able to give to the community. And so we do that. I mean, what we do there is we have, all devotees, it's available, the sessions that we do are for free. But we have we are for outside people, they can make a donation to suit their pocket, and that goes to the maintenance of the temple. I think because it's important to make that distinction. And if you have a practice where you feel that you can't do for free, then you're available and you can maybe have that as an offering for or people may be able to, other people may be able to know about that. So I run other different classes and people can choose to join those classes if they want, but obviously that's at a cost. But the work or the donations that you do within the community, I think should be under that umbrella of that you are doing something different, you're giving to the community. That's just my thoughts.
Excellent, thank you. And I'd like to thank you in advance for what you're going to do for the temple here. Kanu is, as is Ashwin Bhai, as is Path, and that's it. Anybody else? Now I see on the call there's Harry Grover. Hi, you can unmute yourself if you like. But welcome, thank you so much. I hope you're finding this useful. We can't hear you. Oh yes, now we can hear you, yes.
It's quite interesting, we joined a bit late, but what I'm thinking is that since it is a new venture you're getting onto, there is funding available through the National Lottery Fund. I don't know whether it's been talked about or not, because every pound you put in, 35% is set aside for different charities, and they do distribute it. You have to apply for it and fight for it, but they do have sufficient funding available for this sort of thing. It's worth investigating.
Thank you. And do you live in the local area?
No, we live in Surbiton.
Okay. Thank you for joining. Thank you for guiding us.
And one more thing is, we're talking about people coming to these classes, having to pay and so on, but if you set aside like a guidance, rather than saying you must pay £1, you set aside a guidance so the money can be put into a box so that whoever puts it in does not feel embarrassed he's getting it free or she is getting free.
Good.
I think that's one way to do it.
Thank you very much. Good advice. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting and inspiring us. Anybody else? Vikram is having problems. So is anybody else? Any questions, any comment, any doubts, any misgivings, anything that we're doing wrong, which you think, hang on, you could do this better? What we really need a lot of help with is helping us to raise the funds. So if you've got any ideas, any friends, any...
Nabiji, there is a suggestion on the chat.
Good.
Mandir will be better off using the services of a professional fundraiser who will do much better job. This is from Suresh KM Rajpura. If you can unmute him.
Oh, okay. If we can find him.
Yeah, and also Saroj Gujral has a question as well. So I'll unmute her first because I could see her immediately.
Oh, sorry. Suresh, you may be unmuted. Yes. And Saroj, are you there?
Namaste.
Okay. Suresh, just wait for a moment. Saroj, please carry on.
Namaskar, Hare Krishna.
Just 1 second, Suresh. Just 1 second.
Just a question. Have you checked with the fire regulations and the fire safety measures as well? That how many people are, they decide on how many people are allowed in this hall, and all the fire regulations are in place.
Harish?
Namaste. So right now we're going to the design stage and building control. So what normally happens at this circumstance, at this juncture, is that the drawings will be produced and be submitted for building control. And the building control department will consult the London Fire Brigade just to check, double check all the measures that which we have put in place, and if they will advise us whether there are any further things which we'll need to do to improve, and all the checks and measures will be done. So everything will be done in accordance with the planning guidance, building regulation, and the fire authority. Hope that helps.
Thank you. Yes, Suresh.
Namaste, Hare Krishna. You see, the temptation is always there to save the money, obviously, because we don't have the money to spend, yeah? But that is something that we need to resist, because sometimes it is cheaper to pay and employ the services of a professional people who have access to vast range of funding that you and me never will know. So we अपना अपना काम होता है, you know, and there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Now, जहाँ तक मेरा ख्याल है, a professional fundraiser है, they do an extremely good job. They charge you 10 or 20% commission, but that is only if they are successful in that bid.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So, you know, it's a no win, no fee thing. Yeah, क्या खोना है? You know, it is in his or her interest to make sure that you get the money. Only then he's going to get paid. Yeah, and then if you find another Hindu fundraiser, then you are in an even better position simply because he understands the requirement of Hindu place of worship. Yeah, that doesn't mean the others don't. Yeah, but because most of them they work on commission only. You could better spend your time on the things that you are good at, rather than doing something one-off and then forget it. That's इतना ही बोलना था मुझे.
Good. Good advice. I like it. Thank you.
हरिओम. चुप कर जो मना है.
Suresh bhai, do you have any? Do you know anyone who does this? Any contacts? Please do share with us.
Oh yeah. I think Ashwin Bhai has, he already has. So Ashwin Bhai, would you like to come in here and, because you already.
It's very, very interesting. I have run Sanatan Mandir for 20 years now. So I come from a kind of lot of hard work and expertise and experience that I've been through. And I just want to share a few things with you, if that's okay. Is that permissible?
Yes, please.
Okay. In terms of charging, there is no such thing as free lunch. Okay. And, you know, this is a community center where people have paid money, but we've got core costs that we've got to meet. Okay. And the way we have managed it, we've charged very, very nominal amount. So I'll give you an example of yoga. A yoga class outside will cost you about 10 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever. In the Mandir, because it's subsidized big time, because it's a community center, it's no more than £2.50.
Okay.
Now, anybody and everybody can afford that kind of money, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that brings us a lot of people to come in. In terms of council help and support, you don't need to go around looking for different people in the council. Every council will have a development officer, community development officer. Get hold of him and he will guide you and support you and open the doors very, very officially where the grants are available. In terms of a professional person to raise money for you in terms of grant, superb suggestion. In our Mandir, we use such a person. But guess what? We had to raise, as I mentioned before at the trustees meeting, we paid him £6,000. Okay. Now that £6,000 was collected from a grant already. After that, he identified £90,000 worth of grants that were available to us. Of that, we only managed to get 30,000. But that's 30,000 that we didn't have before.
Good.
The professional guy will take over the narratives that you need, the language that you need to help support in your work. But in terms of charging, I think you need to be very clear not to keep it absolutely free. My worry is, and the trouble we have with all the Sanatanis, we are not very generous when it comes to donations.
Right.
Okay. If it is a Sikh person, I would say they are very generous. If it is a Muslim person, they are very generous. Do you know why? Because it says in their dharma that whatever you earn, 5%, 10% of that in the mandir, in the mosque, in the Gurudwara. We don't have such a system. Yeah, and therefore we are inclined to at least make a minimum charge. Can I sort of go through other points that have come through? Is that okay with everybody?
Absolutely.
All right. There are 186 Sanatan Mandirs in the country. Okay. And they are all run independently. The vision that Haresh has sort of put forward here is trying to string some of them together, hopefully in the future. And that, to me, is a gold standard. Swaminarayan temples do it. Yeah. Bhakti Vedanta do it. They have got temples. I don't know how many, but several temples in the world, and they are all run on similar principles. I would love if such a vision could be achieved. So I wanted to say to Haresh, wow, you started something absolutely amazing here. Yeah. And yes, Crowley Mandir will be the first one to jump on this bandwagon when that bandwagon starts to roll. Yeah. I think I wanted to concentrate more on fundraising. Fundraising is still very, very important. We heard from you that we've got something like 140,000 pounds to raise. Phase 1 is 90,000, phase 2 is 20,000, and phase 3 is 33,000. Okay. We need to go very hard to raise this fund. So it's good that we've got a fundraising plan now, fundraising requirement plan. Behind that needs to have is a fundraising plan that will actually realize bringing that money in. Okay. Now, if that money doesn't come in, then plan B has got to be devised. Because the work has to continue. Once you let the development start, you can't stop it because it will cost too much money to start. All right. So there should be provision made so that the work is completed, whether it's borrowed money or money that has been placed on an interfee basis or whatever. But that money, the builder can't wait for it. The builder will want to assurance that that money is there, that he will be paid for. So please bear that in mind. Fantastic about the breakdown now. I hope people will come forward and donate towards each of the windows or each of the doors or each of the vast relief murtis that we've sort of put forward or others. And that is great. And hopefully we'll get lots of people coming forward for that. So I wanted to wish everybody a lot of luck. And I think it is doable. It's not a big amount. We had 3.6 million mountain to climb, 3.6 million pounds mountain to climb. We climbed it. You were no way near it. And what's the population of the area where you live? I bet it is 4 or 5 times more than that is in Crowley.
Yeah, true.
So it is achievable.
Yeah.
The momentum is there. Let's keep it going. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Ashwin, you're always inspirational. And just to address your point, if there's anybody worried that we in order to purchase the property, we had to get that friend of ours to give a loan. So he gave 20, but he actually gave 50. So 30,000 pounds is there in the kitty already to start the work. So we've got that base already. And others will also be contributing, have pledged some money. So hopefully that will come through. So, but there is a good pot to start the work, and then we will just continue with the momentum. But thank you for your advice there. So a couple of hands are up. Vaishali?
Hello, Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. As our kids perform today so beautifully, so I just want to, we can organize such Zoom meetings with kids so they can perform. I mean, we can, raise some funds through these cultural programs. But at the same time, the challenge is that obviously people do not donate that generously. But at least, especially with Indian parents, if they get the platform and if we charge them minimum from every corner of our, UK, London, maybe Scotland, everywhere, I can, arrange that part of that from other countries too, and make that awareness of our temple. It's not about the money only, it's just the marketing part of that. So the more the kids will perform, the more parents will try to will get that marketing portion especially.
Yeah, I mean, I think what this is Sagar here, Vaishali's husband. So I think what Vaishali is trying to say is, I mean, I think we completely relate to the sentiments been expressed earlier on that Sanatanis are perhaps very not so generous with the funds contribution. So I think Vaishali, being an artist herself, she is thinking of using cultural performances to kind of garner resources, and maybe the parents might find a cause in actually seeing the kids performs, or what are getting them a platform actually, and use maybe that is a, and maybe they might relate to that sort of so in a way it meets both the purpose actually. It's a win-win situation. So
it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Are you living in the local area?
Yes, we are.
We live in Sutton.
Okay, and do we have your contact details?
Yeah, we are connected with Kanchan, so definitely they are going to help.
Okay, because a few things. I would like you to be involved on a weekly basis, so that you come and you volunteer for a saver. You can pick a date and time that suits you, so that you are part of our team. I'd like you to be also in the committee, if you don't mind.
Sure.
That what you're saying is perfect, because it's not, money is part of the thing. I think we will raise it more from individuals who we will hopefully approach and beg and these sort of programs and the fundraisers, they may not raise so much. We shouldn't get our hopes too high. We will hopefully have some generous people who come forward, and that's what happened in terms of purchasing the property in the first place. I suspect the renovation will go down the same route. But what you've said is actually going to capture the imagination of the parents and educate the children. And that's what we want. We want. So I want you to be very sensitive.
And our next generation will cherish that. I've performed for this temple when I was young, or when I was, maybe they will cherish in future.
Yeah. And we already do a lot with children. Every week they do a drama on Zoom. So we become part of what we're doing and enhance what we're doing. That will be your glory, and that will help us.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you
for your contribution. Really good. Saroj?
Yeah, unmuted.
Okay. After Saroj, you be Saroj.
Because I'm in bed. Now, about the fundraising, in my experience, individuals can contribute only to a limited, they do it only to a limited extent. Where big organizations like this, they receive their money, they arrange their fundraise on the big fishes, like Mr. Harry mentioned, lottery money, or big industrialist, Mittal and Company and all, and big businesses, all Marks and Spencer, Tesco, especially locals, LD is there, Morrison's is there, all of those locals, because their business gets prompted if their name goes into the community. And they have special funds for goodwill funds for these purposes. Local authority will provide you a lot of funds, and I'll put you in touch with those people who is responsible for arranging all this, because otherwise they have to arrange more day center, more people to entertain elderly and etc., to make their own arrangement, which costs them a lot more. If somebody is providing the premises, providing the facilities, and they provide the funding, I know, and I'll put you in touch with those. And another thing is, on the disabled toilet and access, which I mentioned earlier as well. I'm a professional, I'm an occupational therapist. I'll be able to help you guide where to go and what to write and how to go about it on the disabled toilets and disabled access, and dropped curb on the road, because wheelchair patients, wheelchair people will need to have access to from the curb to ride the wheelchair on the curb. If it's a not dropped curb, it will be difficult for them. So that, plus a pedestrian crossing will be needed on that road, which you will need to put an application for facts and figure whether they agree or not, which they actually they might agree because disabled people and others are crossing as well, and how many numbers will be. So that is also needed, a disabled dropped curb access and drop curb and access and toilets. And even if there are some facilities needed in the kitchen, they will provide those as well. And zebra crossing just near the temple so that people can cross from the bus stop, get onto the bus stop and back, and from the car park, cross the road safely. That's very important to be done.
So Sarojji, I'll give you Harish's phone number.
Sorry?
I'll give you Harish's phone number. I'll give Harish your phone number, and he will be in touch. But he's a busy.
Another thing about charging is most of the religious organizations, they charge a minimal amount, £1 or £2, and they put a box there, and the people just are sort of compulsory, at least minimum £1 or £2 they have to put it. If 20 people turn up, then 20, and I've seen that people don't mind. Quite a few of our ladies from our organization, they attend these sessions, and I don't know whether Anusha will know whether the council charges as well, because council runs these yoga classes, music on chair, and for elderly and for day center type of activities, and they charge whether they charge or not. But other religious organizations, they put a box, and some have put £2, some have put £1, some have put a fixed rate of £3, but they have to put it in a box, and people don't mind paying that much if they get an outing out of the house, because it's not only religious thing, it's a social thing as well. They get out of.
I think the charging can be left to the committee. They don't know how to decide how to. But that's fine. Thank you so much. I think we're kind of going way over time, but I wanted to hear a few. Suresh, and then Anusha, and then perhaps we finish with before that. Suresh, are you there?
हाँ जी नमस्कार या मैं पंकज जी को नाम वगैरह दे दूंगा जो प्रोफेशनल फंडरेजर है वो बर्मिंघम में ही है तो फिर वो पंकज जी से बात करेंगे ना ताकि सभी का समय व्यस्त ना हो इधर
ठीक है if you put it on the chat we can grab it from there.
Okay, I will do that, no problem.
Thank you so much. Okay, Anusha? We can't hear you.
Namaste. Saroj Aunty had said she had made a suggestion that I might know lots of council funds. So we have run quite a lot of free classes, movement classes for the elders, children with autism. But the funding is a much smaller pot. I think I forget the wonderful lady who made the suggestion about doing creative activities. So so these activities can certainly bring more awareness. So if that is thought of it as bringing activities into the center for providing and contributing to the community, that's a great way to go. But as for fundraising, that might not be the best way to look at, but definitely it's available. And as a company, we have provided lots of free movement classes from elderly to disabled to children. So it's possible.
You're right. The main thing that we want to get over is this renovation funding, and that's not that's not going to come from that's mainly going to come from various individuals, right? Hopefully, going forward, we should never aim. Our mission should not be that this is a money-making temple. That is for sure. We want to bring people in, make them feel part of the temple, love the temple, live the temple.
Correct.
We don't want necessarily their money. What we want is them. As soon as we get them, everything comes with that. There's
Correct.
service comes, Lakshmi whenever is needed, we can get.
Mhm.
We get friendship, we get spiritual solace. We want to make this an oasis where people can come and feel, wow, this is away from the material world. This is the spiritual world. So, and if we're focused just on money, that will not happen. And and we will not be focused on money. That is a guarantee I give.
Mhm. Wonderful. Absolutely. No, it's so lovely, inspiring to hear everyone. I think this is going to be a beautiful space for people to connect and to grow within. The inner growth is the most important, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And just actually having these conversations with so many wonderful devotees who are on this call, it's already a success. And this is all, the credit is all goes to one person. His name is Harish. I blame him because he stopped me studying, because I had to work hard to do anything. But I'm really grateful to him, because this opportunity wouldn't be there. We wouldn't be talking to so many wonderful people. I wouldn't even know any of you. And I'm so happy that we're in touch with each other like this. And let's really make this a successful venture, a spiritual venture. And we're going to do it together. We're going to walk together. If somebody is slow, we'll be as slow as they are. We're going to do this all together. And this is the beauty that it'll give us strength from being together. Slow or fast doesn't matter. We're together. And that's important. So, shall we conclude? Kanchan?
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, this was wonderful discussion happening, isn't it? It's so exciting. The community support is amazing, and we would need that blessing and guidance throughout, definitely. So, yes, we can conclude. We're going to conclude with our lovely Bharti ji's bhajan and chanting. If Bharti ji, if you could unmute yourself, please. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can't sing anything like the children did.
You're one of the best. You're one of the
So
best.
I'm gonna need your help. So what I request you all is unmute, so we all feel that we are doing a Sankirtan together, as Nabi Prabhu mentioned, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the Sankirtan is the best thing in Kali Yuga. We do it all together. So I'll do a few mantras, and after that sing a Kirtan. I sing it solo first, and then all of you join wherever you are without having you have to keep yourself mute, because
Okay. So let me mute everybody and then unmute you.
yes, please. I keep on going on the unmute for some reason. I don't know why that is.
You'll be fine now.
Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। हरे नाम हरे नामेव केवलम् कलौ नास्तेव नास्तेव गतिरन्यथा। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद you'll have to keep yourself mute. That's the only thing. Otherwise the sounds are coming at a different time. But do sing. Keep yourself mute, but sing to only Bhagwan, not for anybody else. So my turn. Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Govind Jai. Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai. गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम। वनमाली मुरली धारी गोवर्धन गिरिवर धारी। नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनवारी। नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनवारी। हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम। हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय। गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोपाल जय जय Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful. So beautifully sung, Bharti.
That was amazing. Jayanti said, you must ask Parthiben to come and sing every day. But actually, maybe after me, we can ask Parthiben to come and do special bhajans. You got
Yes, we can do that once a week maybe. I think the Hanuman Chalisa group I do in South London, that actually I started for this reason. So you can make it part of your activity because it's not connected to anything, and you can have everybody joining in. So that I don't sing well, but I
oh
try.
no.
No, I really don't. But that's very kind.
Now, Harish Bhai's brother is Pilkesh, and Pilkesh is a great fan of Hanuman, and he loves Hanuman Chalisa. So this is one of the things I was saying to you, Parthiben, that Saturdays, it would be fantastic if we can do Hanuman Chalisa once the temple starts, and
yes. But even while the temple is in its progressing, we can have people joining it for Hanuman Chalisa.
True.
If they want to. I do that on Wednesday, 8 o'clock to 9:15. So we do a Hanuman Chalisa, then we encourage people to sing some bhajan. Everybody likes to perform, and then in the end we do Aarti, Jai Jagdishwari.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And your Hanuman Chalisa group, the total collection was in excess of £4,500. I can't remember exact number.
Yes, something like that.
That's a phenomenal contribution, I have to say.
It's there's a bigger challenge now. There are a lot of other expense, and I really hope and pray that you raise that very quickly.
I agree with you because we've exhausted all of our contact base. So I would request devotees, please bear in mind your friends, your contacts, anybody you think can help. This is really now the final stretch. We're going to have a beautiful temple. That is a guarantee. It is going to happen. That is 100% guaranteed. So let's be part of that. Let's become an instrument of the Lord and become part of this wonderful journey. So we wanted to finish there. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your support. Thank you for participating. Thank you, Supriya. Amazing. Hardika. Wonderful. Looking forward to working with you. And anybody who'd like to be on the committee, please come forward. We would love you to be part of this venture with us. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you, Parthiben. Harinam, 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 Kevalam. You really hit it on the right spot. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank
you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Hitesh Bhai. Main man. Thank you, Raj. Sunil Bhai, are you there? I'll be coming with a begging bowl tomorrow. Thank you. Rajiv, are you still there?
I am around.
Ah, great. How are you, Rajiv? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we missed you today.